All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as the Niners made a trade at the trade deadline. We'll tell you who it is and what he means to their future. All right, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. All right, let's talk a little bit about what the 49ers did at the trade deadline. They traded a 2026 seventh-round pick to the Houston Texans for defensive tackle Khalil Davis. Now, Khalil Davis is 6'1", about 305 pounds, short arms, 31.5-inch arms. He ran 4.75 in the 40 coming out with a 1.66 10-yard split. He's very strong. He had 32 reps of 225 pounds. That's a good number. He played at Nebraska with his twin brother Carlos, and Khalil busted out in 2018. He was named All Big Ten, and he was Nebraska's Defensive Lineman of the Year. So he's got a track background. Both him and his brother both threw the shot put and the discus in high school and at Nebraska. Interesting player. Khalil is... first of all, Hargrave went down in week 3 with the torn triceps. So the 49ers obviously feel the need to have more interior guys. This guy's polished. He's disruptive. He's a pretty agile player, pretty quick. He's got great closing burst. He doesn't have great anchor against the run. He does not anchor well against the run. He doesn't have great length, poor size, short arms. But he does play low. He plays quick, plays hard. The Niners are his sixth NFL team. So he's a journeyman. He's been around the block again and again and again. He's played in the USFL with the Stallions. He's played on a couple stints, I believe, with Tampa. The Niners are his sixth NFL team. He was a 6th-round pick in the 2020 draft. And this year, he's got 172 snaps played, 5 tackles, 8 pressures, 4 run stops, no sacks. So he's a try-hard, built low to the ground, disruptive, quick, pretty agile, one-gap penetrator type who's got pretty good closing burst. He's undersized, though. He's not a 2-gapper. He's not Evan Anderson. He's a 1-gap penetrator. So he's more like a Kevin Givens, but a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger than Givens, a little smaller than Khalil Davis. He's in that mix right there with those two guys for playing time at backup defensive tackle. And obviously they'll play him in a rotation. He doesn't have great length. He doesn't have great bulk. He's got, as I said, he's got short arms, but he does play low. He does have good quickness. He does play hard. He's got good natural strength, and he should help them in a rotation along the defensive line. So Khalil Davis, the twin brother of Carlos Davis, here's I guess would be my thought on it. I don't quite understand why the 49ers prioritized a defensive tackle over a defensive end. At defensive tackle, you have Malik Collins, Jordan Elliott. I haven't heard anybody say anything of any discontent about those two guys. Then you have Khalil Davis, who really looked like a house on fire early, just had an interception the other day. You have Kevin Givens, who was the Niners' leading sack man for the first month or so of the season. And then you have Evan Anderson, who's enormously strong. He is a 2-gapper. He is a, create a pile kind of a guy. Very, very strong at the point of attack. So you have, Givens' groin injury, I don't believe is that severe. Khalil Davis has always had injury problems, so maybe this is a little bit of an insurance policy against Khalil getting hurt. Givens has got an injury right now, but as I said, I don't think it's that serious. I think he's going to be back within a week. But obviously, the Niners are looking at their defensive tackles and saying, okay, we have Malik Collins, we have Jordan Elliott. We think Khalil Davis is somewhat injury prone and Givens is hurt. So we need more than just Evan Anderson sitting there at defensive tackle. But I thought they had equal need for a defensive end. They only have Nick Bosa and old Leonard Floyd and super young Robert Beal and street free agent Sam Aquinu at defensive end. So I was a little surprised they didn't try to add an Arden Key or an Aziz Ojolari or something like that to man that defensive end spot. But they obviously didn't want to trade a lot of draft picks. They didn't want to take on any real money. And so if you don't want to take on any real money and you don't want to really part with any substantial draft picks, there's limits to what you can acquire. The Niners had, for the people sitting there saying, oh, this was their obvious need and they obviously filled it. They have 9 obvious needs. Are you kidding me? Center's a problem. Right tackle's a problem. You don't know what Christian McCaffrey is going to be. So running back is a question mark. They have no speed at wide receiver. They don't have a free safety. Devondre Campbell is their starting linebacker. He's not very good. And they're really thin at defensive tackle and defensive end. So it wasn't just like, oh, defensive tackle was the only weakness on this team and there had no other weaknesses. They have 5 other weaknesses. They just chose not to address it. I'm surprised they didn't add a defensive end just because they don't really have anybody that they can lean on. There's nobody on their practice squad that I can think of. I mean, Alex Barrett, but I mean, he's been on their practice squad for years. Maybe they feel really, really confident in Yatir Gross-Matos and his ability to, get healthy and come back and produce. Maybe that's what they're leaning on. Maybe they feel like Yatir Gross-Matos is definitely coming back and is definitely going to contribute. But either way, they get another piece to the puzzle. It's not an earth-shaking move by any stretch. There wasn't an earth-shaking price. It gives them a little bit more depth against the run. And that's about it. A little bit more depth against the run. Another NFL caliber interior player. But I don't think it's a big move. I don't think it's a move the needle kind of a move. I don't think the 49ers got better at the deadline. I think they got worse because you got to look at what the other teams that you're competing with did as well and compare that to what you did. And when you look at what the other teams did, they all did more than what the 49ers did. So can Khalil Davis help them? Perhaps. But is he a guy that you're going to say, oh, we got Khalil Davis, now we're going to the Super Bowl? No. Nice trade. So now you don't have to look your fans in the eye and say, we didn't do anything. You can say, well, we tried and we picked up Khalil Davis. But I don't think I'm not expecting a lot there. I'm really not expecting a lot from Khalil, not expecting a lot from the 49ers, to be honest. It's November 5th and they haven't won 2 in a row. And almost all the best teams that they've played have beaten them. So I don't know. Maybe Greenlaw will come back and be Greenlaw. Maybe McCaffrey will come back and be McCaffrey. Short of that, the 49ers are going to have a rough go in the second half of the year. All right. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.